Mistwood Village, nestled deep within the fog-shrouded moors of Dartmoor in southwestern England. Mistwood Village stood as a relic of forgotten times, surrounded by dense ancient forests and treacherous peat bogs that stretched like a labyrinth of mud and water. The village was perpetually veiled in mist. The air hung heavy with the damp chill of the land, where sunlight struggled to pierce the canopy, casting long shadows that danced unnaturally even at midday. For generations, the villagers of Mistwood had lived in isolation, bound by an age-old ritual, the annual offering to the guardian of the threshold. This entity, whispered in tales passed down through fireside stories, was said to guard the veil between the living world and the realm of the dead. To appease it and prevent calamity, the villagers prepared a triad of sacred items each year on the eve of the autumn equinox blood, from a pure black rooster, a hand-embroidered crimson cloth, and an antique brass mirror symbolizing the seal of souls. The guardian was no benevolent deity. It was a force of primal dread, ensuring the village's fragile peace at the cost of unwavering devotion. Without the ritual, legends warned of famine, plague, and vanishings that left only echoes in the wind. This year, 2025, nature's wrath had descended upon Mistwood with unrelenting fury. Torrential rains flooded the fields, rotting crops in their roots and drowning livestock in the swollen streams. The offerings, meticulously prepared, fell into disarray. The crimson cloth tore in a gale-force wind. The black rooster perished mysteriously before its blood could be drawn, and the brass mirror passed down through centuries vanished in the dead of night, stolen under the cover of fog. Emily Thorne, an inquisitive 19-year-old with sharp green eyes and windswept auburn hair, had always questioned the village's superstitions. Raised in the creaking timber cottages of Mistwood, she viewed the rituals as archaic chains binding her people to fear. Why do we cling to these old tales? She often mused aloud. The world beyond the moors has science, cities, and freedom. We're trapped in shadows of our own making. Her brother, James Thorne, 22, and built like the sturdy oaks that bordered their home, worked as a woodcutter to sustain their family. Practical and protective, James shielded Emily from the villagers' judgmental whispers. But deep down, the rituals haunted him. He remembered their father's unexplained disappearance a decade ago, following a flawed offering, and the memory gnawed at his resolve like the fog eroding the village paths. Elder Elias Crow, the 65-year-old village seer with a weathered face, etched by time and a mane of silver hair, was the sole keeper of the ritual's true secrets. Living in a thatched hut on the village's edge, where the mist thickened into an impenetrable wall, Elias conducted the ceremonies with trembling hands. He knew the guardian was no myth, but a curse, a malevolent spirit sealed long ago. "It's not a god we feed," he muttered to himself in the flickering candlelight, "but a demon we restrain, lest it drag us all into the abyss." Margaret Hale, the stern 50-year-old village elder with a frame as unyielding as the Dartmoor granite, enforced the traditions with ironclad authority. She believed that forsaking the ritual would doom Mistwood to oblivion, as foretold in the crumbling tomes hidden in the village hall. "We defy the guardian at our peril," she declared in council meetings, her voice cutting through the murmurs like a scythe. The tale unfolded on a dreary afternoon as the mist rolled in from the bogs, carrying the fetid stench of decorating vegetation mingled with something deeper, more sinister, like unearthed graves. Emily sat on the stone steps of their cottage, gazing down the muddy lane that vanished into the woods. Strange cries echoed from the distance, a blend of wailing infants and guttural snarls that set her teeth on edge. "James, do you hear that?" she asked, her voice steady despite the chill creeping up her spine. James paused from chopping firewood, wiping sweat from his brow. "Just the wind through the reeds. Don't let it get to you. The offering is tomorrow. Everyone's on edge." Yet, inwardly, James recognized the sound from his childhood nightmares, the prelude to a child's vanishing years ago. That evening, in Elias's dimly lit hut, an urgent gathering convened. Margaret sat at the head, her features harsh under the lantern's glow. "We cannot delay. The guardian awaits. The cloth is torn, but we'll mend it. The rooster's blood is stale, yet it must suffice. And the mirror, ... we search until dawn if need be." Elias shook his head, his voice a gravelly whisper. "Margaret, you don't comprehend. The mirror is the seal. Without it, the spirits roam free. I've seen it in visions, the shadows dragging from the bogs." Emily, uninvited but eavesdropping from the shadows, scoffed inwardly. Visions, more folly. Returning home, she glanced at the village well. In its murky depths, she glimpsed her own reflection staring back. though she stood several paces away. An illusion, she told herself, but her heart raced with unease. The next morning, the villagers assembled, the crimson cloth was unveiled, and astonishingly, the tear had vanished, replaced by seams of dark, viscous threads resembling congealed blood. Who repaired it? Margaret demanded, her eyes wide with awe. Silence answered. The dead rooster lay in its cage, eyes wide open in a perpetual glare that seemed to follow every movement. Its blood, though clotted, emitted a pungent taint that permeated the air. Driven by curiosity, Emily sneaked into Ilias's hut, seeking clues about the mirror. Amidst dusty relics, she discovered an ancient ledger bound in cracked leather. Flipping through yellowed pages, she read faded script. The Guardian is no divine protector, but the vengeful soul of a warlock executed centuries ago for dark sorcery. Sealed within the brass mirror, it demands annual tribute to remain bound. Failure unleashes it upon the living, drawing souls into the bogs to serve eternally. Her pulse thundered. So it's not superstition, ... it's a real curse. She slammed the book shut as Elias entered. Girl, you shouldn't meddle. Now, it's too late. Elias revealed all. The spirit, known as Blackamoor, was imprisoned 200 years prior. The mirror housed its essence. The cloth bound it, and the rooster's blood sustained the barrier. This year, the theft suggested Blackmoor's influence stirring. The night of the offering arrived. Villagers encircled the stone altar at the bog's edge, the mist so dense it muffled breaths. Elias intoned the rites, pouring the rooster's blood onto the cloth. Sans mirror, the atmosphere grew oppressive. Eerie calls rose from the bogs, drawing nearer. A frigid gust swept through, bearing a revolting odor of putrefaction. In the aftermath, horror descended. The first to vanish was old Mr. Hargrove, Emily's neighbor. Dawn revealed his door ajar, drag marks etched in the mud leading to the bogs, smeared with bloodstains. No footprints, only the trail of something slithering. Panic gripped the village, but Margaret rallied. Find the mirror. The Guardian may yet forgive. Emily and James ventured into the woods, tracing clues. They discovered a blood-soaked crimson scrap dangling from a branch. From our cloth, James whispered, terror edging his voice. That night, knocks echoed at their door. James opened it to find nothing but a fresh, blood-drenched cloth fragment on the threshold. Disappearances escalated. Mrs. Wilkins vanished while drawing water from the well, her reflection lingering in the depths long after. Mr. Fletcher was found rigid by the bog, eyes bulging like the rooster's. Nocturnal whispers from the mist mingled with cries. Return the mirror. Surrender your souls. ... Emily, her curiosity morphing into desperation, slipped into the bogs alone, lantern in hand. The mist warped shapes, and a shadow flitted ahead. Pursuing it, she reached a concealed cavern behind reed thickets. Inside gleamed the brass mirror, its surface unnaturally luminous. Touching it, Emily saw not her face, but a distorted visage with crimson eyes. Blackamoor, the spirit hissed through the glass. I've waited eons. Your failure frees me. Now, you are mine. Emily screamed as tendrils of shadow dragged her deeper. James, frantic, followed her trail. He found the mirror, but Emily was gone. Gazing in, he saw her pleading from within. Trapped, Elias appeared. To free her, redo the rite, but it demands a living soul. Margaret, in despair, offered herself. Yet, as the ritual commenced, catastrophe unfolded. Blackamoor erupted free, transforming the bogs into a hellscape. Villagers were hauled away, screams piercing the night. James lunged for Emily, only to be engulfed. Come morning, Mistwood lay silent. Elias alone survived. Murmuring by the altar, the curse endures eternally. In the well, reflections of countless souls flickered, awaiting the next unwitting soul. Henceforth, wanderers near Mistwood. Here, midnight knocks, and opening doors reveals bloodied crimson scraps, an invitation to the void. The village persists, not as a haven for the living, but a gateway to damnation, where mist conceals horrors untold. End of tale. Yet the dread lingers. Should you venture to a misty moorland village, heed the nocturnal calls perhaps, the Guardian summons you.